The elevator doors were about to close when she appeared, his ex-wife, holding their son's hand, her eyes widening in shock as she spotted him standing next to Melissa, the diamond ring on her finger catching the light. In that suspended moment, as the doors froze halfway, James felt his carefully rebuilt life collide with his past. If you've ever wondered how life can change in an instant, stay with me until the end of this story, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe to see more real-life dramas that will touch your heart. 3 years earlier, James had come home from his 12-hour hospital shift to find a note on the kitchen counter. "I can't do this anymore. I've taken nothing but my clothes. He's all yours now." Their son, Noah, just 4 years old, had been asleep in his room, unaware that his mother had walked out of their lives. James stood in the kitchen, still in his scrubs, the paper trembling in his hands. The house was eerily quiet except for the ticking of the clock his wife had insisted on hanging above the refrigerator. He checked his phone, no missed calls, no texts. He called her number, but it went straight to voicemail. He sank into a chair, the note crumpled in his fist, and for the first time since his residency, he felt completely lost. "Daddy?" Noah's small voice came from the doorway. He stood there in his dinosaur pajamas, hair tousled from sleep. "Where's Mommy?" James swallowed hard. "She had to go away for a while, buddy." He opened his arms, and Noah climbed into his lap. "But I'm here. I'm always going to be here." That night, as Noah finally fell back asleep curled against him, James stared at the ceiling, his mind racing. He was a trauma surgeon with irregular hours and on-call shifts. His parents lived 3 states away. His wife had handled everything at home, school drop-offs, meals, playdates, doctor appointments. He had no idea how to be both parents at once. The next morning, he called the hospital and requested emergency family leave. His department head, Dr. Winters, was surprisingly understanding. "Take 2 weeks, James. Figure things out. We'll cover your shifts." Those 2 weeks were a blur of practical arrangements and emotional devastation. James hired a lawyer, filed a missing person report that led nowhere, and eventually learned through mutual friends that Cynthia had moved to another state with someone she'd met online. She didn't contest when he filed for full custody. Noah asked for his mother every night for months. James would hold him as he cried, feeling helpless, his own grief pushed aside to comfort his son. "Sometimes grown-ups make mistakes," he would explain gently. "But it doesn't mean they don't love you. And I love you enough for both of us." James transformed their spare bedroom into a home office so he could catch up on paperwork during Noah's sleep hours. He learned to cook more than the 3 basic meals he'd known before. He memorized the names of Noah's teachers and friends. He became an expert at braiding hair for Crazy Hair Day and building science projects the night before they were due. "You're a different person," remarked Dr. Winters during a rare moment of downtime in the doctor's lounge. "But in a good way." James nodded, scrolling through pictures Noah had drawn at school that the teacher had sent him. "I had to be." 6 months after Cynthia left, she called. James was in the middle of making dinosaur-shaped pancakes for Noah's breakfast when her name appeared on his screen. His hand froze midair. "James," her voice was tentative. "How is he?" James turned away from Noah, lowering his voice. "He cries for you every night." "Where are you?" I made a mistake. I wasn't ready to be a mother. I'm still not. But I wanted to check on him. He's doing as well as can be expected when his mother abandons him without a word." The bitterness he'd been suppressing leaked into his voice. There was a long pause. "I'm sorry. I know that's not enough, but I am. I'll send child support. I can't come back." After that, she sent money monthly and called occasionally to speak with Noah. The calls were awkward, with Noah growing increasingly quiet during them as he got older. By his 6th birthday, he would only speak a few words to her before handing the phone back to his father. "Does she not like me?" Noah asked one night as James tucked him in. James sat on the edge of the bed, choosing his words carefully. "Your mom loves you, Noah. But sometimes people have problems that make it hard for them to show love the way they should. It's not about you, it's about her." Noah considered this, his small face serious in the glow of his night light. "Like when I get really mad and can't think straight?" James smiled sadly. "Something like that, but bigger and harder to fix." "Will she ever get better?" "I don't know, buddy. But what I do know is that you and me, we're a team. And we're doing pretty great, aren't we?" Noah nodded and reached for his father's hand. "The best team." Life fell into a rhythm. James adjusted his schedule at the hospital, taking more administrative duties that allowed for regular hours. He joined a support group for single parents where he learned practical tips and found understanding ears for the harder days. He made friends with other parents at Noah's school, creating a network of people who could help with pickups or playdates when surgeries ran long. Then, during a particularly chaotic day in the ER, James met Melissa. She was the new child life specialist, helping a terrified 8-year-old understand his upcoming appendectomy. James paused in the doorway, watching as she used a doll to demonstrate what would happen, her voice gentle but matter-of-fact. The boy's fear visibly subsided as she spoke. "You're good at that," James said when she exited the room. She smiled, tucking a strand of dark hair behind her ear. "Kids just want to know what's happening. Fear of the unknown is the worst kind." Something about her straightforward compassion struck him. "I'm James Chen. Trauma surgery. Melissa Reyes. I just transferred from Children's Hospital in Boston." She glanced at her watch. "I have to run, new patient orientation in 5 minutes. Maybe we could grab coffee sometime? I could fill you in on all the hospital gossip." The words were out before he could second-guess them. She looked surprised but pleased. "I'd like that." Coffee turned into lunch, which turned into dinner the following week. James found himself talking about Noah, about single parenthood, about his ex-wife, topics he usually kept strictly separated from his work life. "I'd like to meet him sometime," Melissa said as they walked to her car after dinner. "Noah sounds like an amazing kid." James hesitated. "He is. But I haven't. I haven't dated since his mom left. I'm not sure how he'd react." Melissa nodded. "No rush. When you're both ready." 3 months later, Noah and Melissa met at a science museum exhibit on dinosaurs, Noah's current obsession. James watched nervously as they examined a velociraptor skeleton together. "Did you know they had feathers?" Noah asked her seriously. "The movies get it wrong." "I didn't know that," Melissa replied, equally serious. "What else do the movies get wrong?" By the end of the day, Noah was holding Melissa's hand as well as his father's, chattering excitedly about the next exhibit they should visit together. "She knows a lot about dinosaurs," Noah approved on the drive home. "And she didn't talk to me like I'm a baby." "I like her too," James admitted. "Is she your girlfriend?" Noah asked bluntly. James nearly missed a stop sign. "Would that be okay if she was?" Noah thought about it. "Yeah. But I still get to have guy time with just you, right?" "Always, buddy. That's non-negotiable." As months passed, Melissa became a regular part of their lives. She never tried to replace Noah's mother, but she showed up, for school plays, for weekend adventures, for quiet evenings helping with homework while James was caught in surgery. She brought stability and joy into their home in a way James hadn't realized was missing. A year and a half after they met, on an ordinary Tuesday evening while Noah was at a friend's house for a sleepover, James proposed in their kitchen while they were making dinner. "I had a whole plan," he admitted as she stared at the ring. "Fancy restaurant, flowers, the works. But then I looked at you chopping vegetables in my kitchen, humming that song Noah's been singing all week, and I couldn't wait another minute. Tears filled her eyes. Are you sure? Both of you? Noah helped me pick the ring, James confessed. He said it had to be special because you're special. She laughed through her tears. That kid. Is that a yes? Yes. 1,000 times yes. They decided to tell Noah together the next day. James picked him up from his friend's house, his stomach in knots. How was the sleepover, buddy? Awesome. We stayed up until 10 and built a fort and had pizza. Noah bounced in his seat. Is Melissa coming over today? She's waiting at home. We have something to tell you. Noah's eyes widened. Did she say yes? Did she like the ring? James laughed. Yes to both. But I thought we were going to tell her you knew about the proposal? Noah shrugged. I'm good at keeping secrets. At home, Melissa was waiting with Noah's favorite cookies. They sat him down and officially shared their news. Noah's reaction was to launch himself at both of them for a group hug. Does this mean you'll be my stepmom? He asked Melissa. If that's okay with you, she answered carefully. Noah nodded solemnly. It's okay. But I have conditions. James raised an eyebrow. Conditions? You have to promise to make your special pancakes on Saturdays, he told Melissa. And you have to come to my soccer games. And you can't make Dad get rid of our movie night. Melissa pretended to consider these terms seriously. I accept your conditions. And I have one of my own. What? Noah asked suspiciously. You have to help me convince your dad that we need a dog. Noah's eyes lit up. Deal. Life settled into a new pattern. They moved into a slightly larger house closer to Noah's school. They adopted a rescue dog, a gentle mixed breed that Noah named Rex after his favorite dinosaur. Wedding plans progressed slowly, with Noah insisting on being the best man and ring security. Then came the call that disrupted everything. James was reviewing charts when his phone rang with Cynthia's number. She hadn't called in nearly 8 months, her longest absence yet. James. Her voice sounded different, clearer, steadier than he remembered. I need to talk to you about Noah. James felt a familiar tension creep into his shoulders. What about him? I've been in therapy. For 2 years now. I'm better. I want to see him. James closed his office door. You can't just appear and disappear from his life whenever you feel like it, Cynthia. He's not a toy. I know that, she said quietly. I've been doing the work, James. I understand what I did to both of you. I'm not asking for custody or even regular visitation yet. Just a meeting. A chance to apologize to him in person. I don't know, James said, thinking of how far Noah had come, how stable their life was now. The last time you called, he was upset for weeks. Please, she said, and for the first time since she'd left, he heard genuine remorse in her voice. I owe him an explanation, even if he's too young to fully understand. I owe him an apology. After discussing it with Melissa and Noah's therapist, James reluctantly agreed to a supervised meeting at a neutral location, a park near their home. Noah was nervous but curious. Will she look the same? He asked as they drove to the meeting. I don't know, buddy. It's been a while. What should I call her? Mom feels weird. James's heart ached. You can call her whatever feels right to you. Cynthia was waiting on a bench near the playground. She stood when she saw them, uncertainty written across her face. She did look different, her previously dyed blonde hair was now its natural brown, and she seemed softer somehow, less brittle. Hi, Noah, she said, her voice catching. You've grown so much. Noah pressed against James's side. Hi. The meeting was awkward but not disastrous. Cynthia apologized, explaining in age-appropriate terms that she had been very sick in her mind when she left, that it wasn't Noah's fault, that she had needed to get help before she could be around people she cared about. Noah listened solemnly, asking occasional questions that revealed how deeply he'd thought about her absence. "Are you better now?" he asked finally. She nodded. "I'm working on it every day. My friend Zach's mom was sick. She had cancer. She got better too." Cynthia smiled sadly. "It's a different kind of sick, but yes, people can get better from this too." As they were leaving, Cynthia pulled James aside. "Thank you. He's amazing, you've done an incredible job." "He is amazing," James agreed. "But I didn't do it alone. I had help." "Your fiancée?" Noah mentioned her. James nodded. "Melissa. She's been in his life for almost 2 years now." Something flickered across Cynthia's face, regret, perhaps. "I'm glad. For both of you." After that first meeting, they established a cautious routine. Cynthia would see Noah once a month, always in public places, always with James present. She never pushed for more, seeming to understand the fragility of the reconnection. Noah was thoughtful after these meetings, but not distressed as James had feared. "She's different now," he observed after the third visit. "She listens more." 6 months into this arrangement, Cynthia revealed she had moved to their city. "I'm not trying to intrude," she assured James. "I just want to be available if Noah ever wants more regular contact. My therapist thought geographical stability would be important." James was wary but recognized her efforts. After consulting with Noah's therapist again, they adjusted the arrangement. Cynthia could attend some of Noah's school events and sports games, sitting separately from James and Melissa, never overstepping. Which brought them to today, the elevator moment that had started our story. James, Melissa, and Noah had been shopping for a suit for Noah to wear at the wedding, now just 2 months away. They were heading down to the parking garage when the elevator stopped on the 3rd floor, and there stood Cynthia. For a moment, no one moved. Then Noah broke the silence. "Mom! What are you doing here?" Cynthia stepped into the elevator, her eyes moving from Noah to James to Melissa, lingering on the engagement ring. "I was shopping for your birthday present," she said, her voice carefully neutral. "It's next month, right?" "Yeah. I'm going to be 9. Noah looked between the adults, sensing the tension. "This is Melissa. She's marrying Dad. She helps me with science projects and she convinced Dad we needed Rex, that's our dog." "It's nice to meet you," Melissa said, extending her hand. "Noah's told me about your visits." Cynthia shook her hand, something unreadable in her expression. "All good things, I hope." "He said you're getting better," Melissa replied simply. The elevator descended in awkward silence until Noah spoke again. "We're buying my suit for the wedding. I'm the best man." "That's a big responsibility," Cynthia said. "I know. Dad says it's the most important job." The elevator reached the parking level and the doors opened. No one moved immediately. "Noah," James said gently, "why don't you and Melissa go ahead to the car? I'll be right there." Noah looked between his parents, then nodded. "Bye, Mom. See you at my soccer game next week?" "I'll be there," she promised. When they were alone, James turned to his ex-wife. "Are you okay with all this? Honestly?" Cynthia sighed. "Does it matter? You've moved on. Noah's happy." "It matters," James said. "You're still his mother." She looked away, blinking rapidly. "I lost the right to have opinions about his life when I walked out that door. That's not how family works, Cynthia. Even broken ones." She met his eyes then. "She seems good for him. For both."